no secret anymore. The winner of the ESC Fan TV
332 points is 2015 with Rhythm Inside. 260 points is Claudia Pascal, Portugal 2018. With 374 points, we have ABBA 1974 with Waterloo. With 416 points is Duncan Lawrence.
Helena Paparizou, my number one. Mine damer, herrer, drenge og piger, velkommen tilbage til ESC Fan TV. I aften der er vores opgave at prøve at finde den allerbedste danske sang fra Eurovisionens Melodi Grand Prix. Panelet har valgt deres favoritter, men det er op til dig at bestemme, hvem der skal vinde. Velkommen til!
Hello.
Welcome.
Here we are again, Stuart.
So they are. Welcome. Welcome to ESC Fan TV. It's that time again. It's the second Saturday. It's Eurovision time. It's the best ever Eurovision, Tom. It's the best ever Eurovision Denmark.
I've been researching Denmark all week. I'm well up on it.
I know you have, and so have some of our viewers as well. They've been all over our social media, they've been on Instagram, they've been on Twitter, they've been answering quizzes all about Denmark, and tonight is the night where we reveal what is the best ever Eurovision entry from Denmark, Tom. We've got 24 of the best.
24 fantastic entries. Really looking forward to actually seeing them. And also, we have got some absolutely fantastic panellists waiting to join us as well. Now, you might want to just click the like and subscribe button whilst you're just there at the moment, whilst we're doing a little intro. But Stu, should we get started?
I think we should invite our guests on the screen, shall we? Let's see who we've got on tonight's show. Let's see. This is all from all over Europe, Tom. We've got people from Belgium. We've got people from Denmark, of course. We've got people from the UK. We've got people from Norway. They are all over Europe. It's exciting, isn't it?
Do you know what? And they're all ready to give their best ever entries. Do you know what, Stuart? It's like going for gold. Cue 90s television reference no one was ever going to get.
It is. And don't forget, you, the viewers, count. It is your choice who wins this evening. The rules are quite simple. We have asked our panel to pick their favourite Eurovision songs from Denmark. Some chose a couple of songs, some maybe chose three. We just let them get away with it, it's fine. And then what we do is we pull them all into one pot. We play them for your viewing and listening pleasure. And you then vote at menti.com. Use code 3482870, Tom, and you can vote for your favourite Eurovision Danish entry of all time. Do you know what, though? We don't just want you to vote. We want you to tell us who your favourites are. And we want you to interact with us. So those in the chat room, get chatting. Send your comments through. And while you're at it, if you're on our YouTube page, make sure you ding-a-dong our bell. Because when we can tell you when we go live in future, make sure you ding-a-dong those bells.
Yeah, but that's the Netherlands entry. Let's go for something Danish.
I think we probably should. Do you know what? Let's start. Let's start the show. And let's start with some absolute classics. We're going to go back to the first ever Danish Eurovision entry from 1957. Let's hear the first 5 songs, shall we? Let's do it.
Come on, girls, in this crazy, crazy world. You're the diamonds, you're the pearls. Let's make a new tomorrow. Come on, girls, come on, boys. It's your future, it's your choice. Kloden, drejer. Alting vokser op på ny. Mennesker lydes, svæver på en sky. Under stjernerne på himlen sejler du med mig. Luk nu stille dine øjne, så er vi på vej. Vi sejler over vandet og ind i.
Men skibet skal sejle i land. Ja, skibet skal sejle i land.
That long kiss, that was a 1950s scandal. Let's welcome Martin and Jude onto the show. Hello, Martin. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much, Stuart. Hello to everybody out there. Hope you're all
Of course.
enjoying Denmark already.
We are, and lovely shirt, by the way. That might have something to do with the Danish national football team, if I'm not mistaken. Martin, of course, from the Let Me Be the One podcast and radio show. Make sure you go and give him a like and check out what he's up to. Martin, you chose 3 songs. You chose the 1957 classic. You chose 1983 and 2020 this year. So you've gone from the very first Danish song to the very last, not the last, but the most recent Danish entry. Why did you pick those 3?
Well, when I came to the party quite late, so a lot of these great entries had already gone, and there was a mystical voice said, choose some old ones from the 20th century. So I thought, let's go for the oldest one and the newest one and one that I like in the middle-ish. So yeah, 1957, black and white. There you go. Don't see many of those. But of course, the main reason I chose it was it's the first Danish entry. It came third. It's not bad for the start. Admittedly, it was only in field of 10. But of course, it's all about that 10-second kiss, and it got that out of the way really early in Eurovision, and it didn't leave much else apart from sort of same-sex kisses. So yeah, but yeah, they're really great singing. It's a story about a sailor going away and obviously sort of saying goodbye to his girlfriend. So I thought I'd throw that one into the mix right at the beginning.
It's a beautiful song. It's a really beautiful ballad. One of my favourites, actually, certainly from the 50s era, 1983, Martin. Why did you pick this one?
Well, it's from a Eurovision that stylistically I absolutely really don't like. 1983 looks horrible because they're all standing on a little tiny bit of the stage, but Gry and her dancers make the best of it. And I've got her down as the Purple Pixie, and they've got that little routine that they do. She's not the greatest singer in the world, but it's a great routine. It's very, very 80s, the style, the hair, the drum machines, it's just that one of those sort of earworms that stuck in my head. And when I went through the list of all of the ones we were doing, I thought, that's one I'm going to pick. So yeah, that's the reason it's on tonight.
Just the props to the choreography. I think it's pretty epic for 1983. Love it. Absolutely love it. What a contest 1983 was as well. Okay, thanks for your choice there. But we haven't finished yet. Let's talk about, yes, 2020. Ben and Tan. In fact, actually, we've covered Ben and Tan on the show recently. And thanks to Nicholas, it managed to interview them. So if you haven't checked that out already, make sure you do that. Go to escfantv.com and you'll find that interview. Why did you pick this one?
Love it. Absolute earworm. So, I mean, it's such a shame for them that they ended up being in this beautiful arena and it was totally empty apart from them and the live orchestra that was there, which was, because it was the 50th anniversary, I think it was. So yeah, it's just a great song. Obviously, both X Factor, I think it was X Factor, are they? Reality show people come together, yeah. And it just sticks in my head. And I think if this had gone to Eurovision and it had got a late draw, I think this would have done really well with the televote, just purely because it would have, everyone had just gone, what's that? Yes. Oh yeah, Denmark. And I just love also right at the end, Tan, she's just treating it like a great rehearsal right at the end. I've never seen somebody on stage sort of fist pump going, yes, great performance. You're going, yeah, you're actually sort of just finished your act, maybe sort of calm it down a bit, but
And actually, I do think this would have done pretty well this year, actually. I'm one of those few that this was by far the best song in the Danish selection. Nicholas knows because I was championing it throughout, and some of the others were. I look back at that national final selection of Denmark, and we had such fun. That's another great show if you haven't already watched it. Thank you for that selection, Martin. I know we'll be talking to you a little bit later in the show. 3 great choices. We're going to move to Jude and say hello, Jude. Hey, Jude.
Good evening, Stuart. How are you?
It's wonderful to see you. Back.
Lovely to see you.
Made your debut a couple of weeks ago, so it's good to see you back on the show.
Glad to be back.
So yeah, let's talk about 2011 and 1993. Should we talk about New Tomorrow first? Because I know you've got a particular favourite of yours is 1993. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about 2011.
Going back to what Martin was just saying there about 2020, I felt the same way about 2011 with New Tomorrow. The first time I heard it, I didn't feel as if I had to warm up to it. It almost had a familiarity where you were tapping your foot already, and it was just such a good melody and a song that you just wanted to get on with. I was really, really surprised when it placed 5th overall, 3rd for the juries, but only 18th for the public. Given the fact it was just such a shower of a song, I thought it would have done better with the public. But I really liked it, and it was an excellent, solid performance. No big theatrics. I loved when the singer did the audience interaction during the bridge into the final chorus. I just really liked this song, especially for 2011. I wasn't overly keen on the winner in the night, and I'm really, really glad that this did place in the top 5, albeit 5th.
I totally agree. Wonderful song and great hair as well. What about 1993, Jude? Tell us about. You love this song, don't you? It has such an important meaning to you.
Oh, I started to get into the Eurovision Song Contest in 1991, and it was a big annual event for my mum and I. We would get our box of chocolates, our grape juice, and we would sit and watch it. And I remember 1993, when Ken Bruce used to release the previews on the BBC a few weeks before, my mum and I would watch them and warm up. And we just really, really loved this song. The band standing in the circle, the innocence, the melody, the whistling. We were both drawn to the simplicity and the innocence of Tommy and his band. Was it the best song that year? Probably not. It came 22nd out of 25th. It also came between Switzerland and Greece. That was a tough call that year. But does it hold special memories for me? Absolutely. My mum and I still reminisce to this day about Tommy Sabak and the band, and we still talk about it. And I'm basically dedicating this choice tonight to my mum. This was our song, one of our 2 of 1993.
Wonderful. And what a song it was. It really was beautiful. One of the highlights of 1993. Thank you to Martin and Jude. We'll catch up with you a bit later on. If any of those 5 songs were your favourites, make sure you give them the love they deserve. Go to menti.com and type in the code 3482870 and choose your winner. Now, random Danish fact time. Let's go and say hey to Nicholas.
Hello.
Nicholas, hit me with that random Danish fact.
Yeah, so I wanted to include this as part of the little fun facts that we did on Twitter. If you haven't checked those out, you can go check them out. But I was actually recently, when I did local radio, I had a talk with one of the radio hosts there, and he mentioned that he was actually in Gigantium in Aalborg back in 2006 when Twist of Love won Dansk Melodi Grand Prix, and he just had to tell me the story about the composer of the song. He's a composer who's been doing Dansk Melodi Grand Prix for many years. I've of course forgotten his name right now, but someone in the chat can probably remind me. Now, this was a big win for him, of course, with Twist of Love. And I think he got a little bit carried away because my friend here at the radio station was supposed to interview him after the fact, but he was so drunk that getting an interview was almost impossible. So that's what winning Dansk Melodi Grand Prix does to you.
Thank you, Nicholas. Right, Tom, I believe you're going to take over the next group of fantastic songs. We've got 4 of them coming.
Ah, come on, let's give them a listen. Let's see what it's all about.
talk to you through my heart. Talk to you, girl. Tell me where to start. I wanna get through right away. Wanna get through now.
I hope you're enjoying bopping away to them. Now, you must be thinking to yourself, what two fantastic people would nominate such brilliant songs? Well, first of all, let's bring Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey Tom, lovely to see you.
Fantastic to see you. Now, you have nominated 1984 and 1992. Let's start with 1984. So Hot Eyes actually represented Denmark not once, not twice, but 3 times in the contest during the 1980s. What made you, out of all 3 entries they submitted, go for this one?
Yeah, this was our first and the one that I remember the most, I have to say. 92, it was just a clash year. 84 was just a clash year. It was just amazing. And I have to say, fourth place was great. I was expecting more from them. And again, as Jude was saying about the preview programs, I actually do remember this on the preview program as well, being introduced by Terry Wogan, because I used to tape them. I actually used to physically tape them. I had a cassette tape, a cassette recorder, and I used to tape all the preview programs, and I remember this one so well. But of course, Søren Bungard especially, he ended up writing 89's entry. He was a backing singer in 89, and the guy is Hot Eyes, and then obviously Kirsten and Søren, as they became, internationally as well. They sort of competed in Melody Grand Prix for the intermittent years as well. So it was 84 effectively till 89 that they were just dominant in there. So of course we've got to include them.
It was the start of a great chapter. And to be honest, do you know what? That is one of the things I've really, really enjoyed about actually our best ever Denmark kind of fortnight as we've had it, is actually discovering some of these tunes that in actual fact I'd forgotten about. And certainly a worthy song. Now, you've also nominated 1992, which is Lottie and Kenny. Alt det som ingen sir. Nicholas will probably tell me whether I've actually pronounced that right, or probably, let's be honest.
Close enough.
Oh, there we go. Do you know what? That's the best I hope for these days. Close enough. Now, Joe, what made you nominate this one?
Yeah, this one is ultra special to me. I had a lot of pen pals, and one of my pen pals, a Danish pen pal, sent me sort of the songs, effectively, not just Kenny and Lottie's song from Eurovision, but the whole album. And in the little cassette, you opened it up, you had all the words in, so I learned all the words to the song as well, all the pronunciations, and all of the other songs that they had on their album. And it's class. It's absolutely fantastic. So if anybody ever gets hold of it, I don't have it anymore. It got sort of probably chucked somewhere in about 10 moves that I made during that time. But I loved it, and I played it constantly in 1992.
So, hang on, let me just get this straight for a second, because I'm just going to bring in Jude for a second, because Jude, I know you are a big fan of this 1992 entry as well, aren't you? Oh, need to have you off of mute, my lovely, first. There we go.
Going back to what Joe just said, the previews that Ken Bruce would release, I fell in love with this song in 1992. If you remember the beginning of the 90s, there were a lot of big ballads, and this song was just so catchy. And going back, just the video, they were in the club, they're dancing, and on the night, Lotta's beautiful silver dress with the slashes, the interaction, the staging. I just love this song. I can't put my finger on any one particular thing that I love about it. I just know when I watch this song, it ticks all the boxes for me. Just a great song.
Now, did you do the same as Joe? Have you learnt the words? Could we get a duet going? This is what I'm just thinking here.
How did the minutes
Teardrops Hänger finns det bli tillbaka. Allt som en gång fel. Jag kan inte komma till andra väg. Förstår du?
Hey! Oh, amazing, guys.
Sorry for the
I don't know.
pronunciations. Apologies in advance. I
Joe, you get the gold award there for that.
Jude, what you were saying as well, Jude, though, about the preview. Do you remember on the preview? I mean, you can get it on YouTube, by the way, if you want to look at it. But at the very end, where they're in this, you know, that they're in the bar. At the very end, they're actually just on the treadmill. It actually sort of it pans out, and they're actually on the treadmill with just all the screen in the background.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
It's an amazing song.
It's fabulous. I do love, and of course, you know, I mean, Kenny Luca's voice, and well, Lottie Nielsen's voice as well, but Kenny's voice is amazing.
Because I remember in the video in particular, but on the night he let rip. He was huskier live on the night than he was in the preview. He really went for it on the night. It was just amazing.
In a Michael Bolton, wasn't it?
Guys, I know I'm sorry to interrupt the flow of conversation, but I do need to speak to Morten as well, because obviously someone who nominates on. Now, Morten, before we talk about your nominations, are you a fan of 92 at all?
Probably not as much as Joe and Jude, but I like it. It's a good song, of course, but I don't have the same relations to it as they do.
Hey, now you've nominated. By the way, I should actually say, welcome back. It's been ages since we've seen you.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's like April or May or something. It's been way too long, but it's good to be back, and it's a new season soon, so can't wait to that. And,
absolutely. Brilliant to have you back with us. Now, you've nominated 2 songs. You nominated 2005, Talking to You, and you nominated 2017, which is Anya's Where I Am. So let's start with 2005. Talking to You came 3rd in its semi-final, came 9th overall. Why should people put this one as their top Danish entry?
Well, first of all, when it comes to Eurovision and songs to Eurovision and everything, I'm very weak for songs with people that have great voices, like incredible singing voices. Then I'm down. That is one of my favorite songs. And when you listen to this, the first time you listen to it, you're like, oh my goodness, this is the best singing voice I've ever heard in my life. So that was what I thought the first time I listened to it. It wasn't in 2005 because I was only 2.5 years old when the final took part. So I listened to it after, like, I think first time was like 3 years ago or something. And I still listen to it to this day. It's absolutely amazing. And when you think that when you listen to it in 2020, it isn't a typical 2020 song. When you think back and think, it was in 2005, you're like, okay, that was actually a very good song because it is very 2005-ish. And that is one of my reasons that I absolutely love the song. But most importantly, the voice of the man, it is incredible.
Brilliant. And Georgina in the chat has actually congratulated you on your choices. Actually said, good choices, Morten, as well. Although you have made Elliot feel very old. Now, I'm just using his words. Now, you've also nominated 2017, Anya, Where I Am. This one scraped in under the wire. It came 10th in the semi-final, scraping its way into the final, came 20th overall. Why did Anya get your nomination?
Well, I think many of you know why. Because of her singing voice. No, it's just not because of that. But she has an incredible voice, though. First, I just have to say, she was very unlucky on the night because the backing vocals weren't very good. So it was very weird to look at and just hear because everything wasn't right. But when you take that out of the consideration, it's a really, really good song. The lyrics, I think, was absolutely fantastic, and I still remember to this day that I was like blown away. On the night, I didn't hear the wrong, not good backing vocals. But like that doesn't matter. It's still a great song. She seems like a lovely lady. I haven't met her, but she seems very lovely.
Did you see I posted my selfie with Anya up on our Facebook feed?
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, do you know what? I actually managed to play a really good, I teach children. It was a great practical joke on a student the day after her semi-final, because she wore the same dress in the semi-final as she'd worn for LEP. And they knew I was a big Eurovision fan. So I said, no, I was there. And I produced this photo. And then I had these two students were actually working out whether I could have actually got to the Ukraine and back to watch the contest that night. It amused me anyway.
Oh, yeah.
But no, 2 fantastic nominations there as well. I think it must be time for another fascinating fact. I can see Nicholas is researching through the Bible.
Yes. Now I want to quickly mention a fun fact that's a little bit more recent. Let's go to 2015. Now, Dansk Melodi Grand Prix has been like different from year to year. There's always been like some sort of little changes to make sure that the contest is keeping itself fresh. Now in 2015, DR tried to implement the Melody Festival in voting, where it's like how the jury and everything. We all know it by now. Unfortunately, Anne Gallagher, the big fan favorite, also the first ever representative of Denmark in Junior Eurovision, by the way, for those who didn't know. She was the big fan favorite, but just narrowly missed it because of the voting. What did DR do? Well, they scrapped the Melody Festival in voting in 2016, and it was never seen again in Dansk Melodi Grand Prix. So just know, people, if you complain for long enough, you might be able to see a result.
Thank you, Nicholas. Now, Stu, I think it's about time we listen to some more songs, isn't it?
I think it is, Tom. I think it's time for your choice, as well as Aline from Belgium. Should we hear them?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait. What do we have here?
Oh, look, it's Curly Kai. I had to put on the special outfit from our Retrovision, of course. I had to do it.
Good to see. Lost for words, Nicholas. Lost for words.
Remember, to everyone, if you are very confused, remember to watch our Retrovision 1997, then it all makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, Tom. You come up with 2001 and 2014 as your choices. Shall we start? Well, let's start with Shibidi-Bidi-Bidi-Die. Let's start with 2014.
Anyone who
Why
knows
did you
my
pick that?
music taste will know this song is so far up my street, it's actually practically knocking on the front door. Absolutely brilliant. It's catchy, it's bouncy, it's sing-along, and you know what, Stuart? I mean, being a innocent soul that I am, I was mortified when I stumbled across the non-Eurovision version on Spotify the other day and found out it's not another Cliché love song after all. It's a fucking Cliché love song. I'm like, What? No one told me.
That was the original. That was what he did on the national final, because
Yeah.
I remember it.
Yeah. But do you know what? I still maintain, in terms of the 2010s, that is one of the best host entries ever. Absolutely loved it from start to finish. And, you know, again, you know, what is there not to like? And I have a theme going, because I also went for Denmark's host entry in 2001 with Rolo and King. This one, arguably, there are some people that will actually say, including I think the majority of the audience in the Parken at the time, who would kind of agree that Denmark probably should have done the double and won in 2001 instead of Estonia. Although I liked the Estonian song, but it fitted that brand of being fantastically catchy. It had a really good rhythm to it, and also it was different. It had a real kind of country and western kind of vibe, folk song kind of vibe, that in actual fact, you know, stood out. And it's one of those Denmark entries that I think really does stand out, because it's something a bit different. It stands out in terms of when you put it against all the entries that Denmark have submitted over the years, and there's been a lot of them, 48 of them. But also, it stands out a lot against the entries of 2001, because there were a fair share of ballads there was a fair share of like mid-tempo pop and stuff. This was the final song on the stage. This was something new, this was something different. It brought the house down. Okay.
It was. There was also this, "Hi Barbie, hi Ken." It was the other way around, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Whoops.
and what was the next line, Stuart?
You want to go for a ride? No, it wasn't, was it? Who cares?
Oh. You've gone all BBC on me. The BBC
have.
special recording of that.
Yeah. So I'm going to bring in Jude quickly on this, because she also loved the 2001 entry. Jude, what did you make of it?
I think that we've already summed up everything that was great about this song. I just remember on the night before the beautiful lady in lilac came in after the first minute, I was already loving this song. It was a funky beat, it was great, it was catchy. I thought the singer looked a bit deer in the headlights, maybe he was a little bit nervous, but apart from that, this song was winning it for me. And then when the female singer struts onto that stage, and the corset and the trousers, and they start the duet, I was just like, this has to win this year. This is going to do the double. For me, this is in my top 2 songs that Denmark have ever submitted to the Eurovision Song Contest.
It was a phenomenal song. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Jude. So I think it's time we go to our first Belgium panelist. And we're going to say, hey, Aline, come in, Belgium.
Good afternoon, Europe.
It's good to see you. It's good.
It's great.
Can we get Aline on the full screen, please? It'd be good to see her. Anyway, whilst we faff around and work that out, there we go. Aline, you chose. Now I have to say, when you submitted your entries, these were 2 surprises to me, especially 1997, which is actually a particular favourite of mine. Mm-hmm. Why did you choose the rapper from 1997?
Well, Eurovision without being controversial wouldn't be Eurovision, of course. I actually got to know this song thanks to Nicholas and the Eurovision retro show you did earlier. And because of the outfit he wore, I thought it was amazing. And I asked like, what song does belong to this? And he said like, it's the 1997 entry. And I was like, what's this with 1997? This is such a great edition. So I started to I had to watch the entire show, of course, then, and I watched it with German commentators. And I remember that they said that the bookies placed this song dead last, like it wouldn't even receive a single point. So I'm actually glad it did receive some points and it finished higher than expected. This is those kind of songs I like personally, but I never would I would never see them being placed high, but I just love them. And yeah, I just like the vibe, and it's a bit dancey. So when it makes me dance, I like it. That's me.
Such a fantastic song, so iconic as well from 1997. Your second choice, Rasmussen. Rasmussen, for those who didn't catch that. Well, Higher Ground. Why did you pick that one?
Well, I think this doesn't come as a surprise. This is like the best song from Denmark in years for me. Like I think we all have this kind of songs every year that is like, we can say it's kind of love at first sight, love at first listen. Denmark releases the first 30-second snippets of their songs, and I was immediately in love with it. Like, finally they bring, like, I love Eurovision songs with like some cultural elements in it, and finally there were some Nordic vibes in the song again, because
And she's gone. It was that good.
You will never know.
We'll bring a lead back. It's what happens. This is not a scripted show, and I could just talk now for a little bit until we can find Aline again. Here she is. In fact, she's back on the stream. Aline. Yeah, it's okay. We lost you temporarily. You were saying.
This happened to my exam as well in June, so it's very stressful. So what did I say?
You were telling us about Rasmussen.
Well,
how much you love that song.
It was love at first listen, and not only I liked the song a lot, I just felt it, and I was like, do I belong to this culture? I don't think so, but I really felt like I belonged there, or like I really felt it, and I think this didn't do so well with the juries, which I'm still angry of. Like, it was a non-qualifier for the juries in the semi-final, and at some point in the final, it was in the last position. I was so angry, but well, the televoting saved him, and I think this kind of opens a door for these Nordic vibes entries, because we've seen it with Kano. They did very well, maybe even better than Rasmussen. So I would love to see those entries more often in Eurovision in the future. Yeah, that's it. It's a Nordic vibe. I really love it, and well, I want more from it.
It's two fantastic entries. Thank you both of you, Aline, Tom. Make sure, if any of these songs, and I'm talking about any of the songs you've heard so far, are your favourites, it's your fault if they don't win. Get over to menti.com. 34, 82, 87, 0. Click those dials, dial those numbers in, vote for your favourites, and we're going to find out who is going to be your winner at the end of the show. I think we're going to come over now to the next group of songs. I think we're going to go and see. We're going to go to Nicholas, and maybe he'll also give us a fun fact. And we're going to say hello to our second Belgian panelist of the evening, Elina. She's down the bottom left. Let's have a little listen to their songs.
This time I need it, oh baby. This time I need it now. 'Cause you got me going so crazy, even though I don't know how. Fra Mols til Skagen, fra Mols til Skagen, fra Mols til Skagen. Jeg savner
Another 4 fantastic songs there. Now, let's go to Nicholas first of all. Now, you have nominated 1995 and 1999. Let's start with 1995, Nicholas. Why did this make it into your nominations for Denmark's best ever entry?
Yes, I think for Fra Mols' it's a very special, very like deep and very real song that is a lot different to what Denmark is usual is. And I can actually come with a little fun fact about this particular entry as well, because in fact, in the year where this took part, Canada Grand Prix was getting a little bit like it wasn't the most popular program anymore as it had been in the past. So they actually tried to like change names. They call like the event and 5 instead, and I don't think it ever really caught on. It was still just Dance Melodi Grand Prix for most people, but it was a way of trying to like modernize the contest. And I think this entry is a great way of showing that, because it is an entry kind of like stepping out of the boundaries of what Denmark would usually send to Eurovision, a song that no one really expected to do so well, and then it actually ended up doing pretty decently. So I think it's an interesting song. It's a song that I feel like it's just that more like raw indie vibe that I really enjoy outside of like Eurovision. It's the kind of stuff I like to listen to in my free time.
Now, do you know what? I was looking at, because I kind of worked out a little connection, kind of, because 1995, obviously, Denmark did reasonably well in the contest. I believe they came 5th in 1995. And of course, in 1996, they failed to qualify. Then we had the fabulous Cliché, who, let's face it, didn't exactly set the scoreboard alight in 1997, which meant Denmark missed 1998. So then we get, I mean, I take it for Denmark to arrive at the modern contest, actually, 1999, and they came 8th. Now, I know you have some really, really good memories of this song, and this is really popular. Why is this one of your all-time favourites of Denmark's entries?
Yeah, I think the reason why this is so special to me is that like when I was getting really into Eurovision and Melodi Grand Prix around like 2004, 2005, I obviously started to listen back to some of the older contests, and this was one of the first songs that I really like sat down and probably listened to out of our like old entries. I'm from 97 for those who don't know, so I didn't watch the contest. My first contest was in 2001, but this is just such a song for me. Yes, some will say it is a very Danish entry, but I don't really think I am from Denmark, so it makes sense that I like the Danish music. This song has just always resonated with me. Like I heard it from the first time, like back in 2004, 2005, and I absolutely loved it back then. And to this day, it is just still among my favorites. I think it is such a nice. I will say I do prefer the lyrics in Danish. I think this was obviously the first song being translated into English when the rules were changed. And I think it's one of those that was a bit of a sloppy translation. I think they could have better there. I like the Danish song, the Danish version, way more at least. But it's just such a cute and nice entry. I think the two, they work great together on stage. And I'm glad that this did so well that it did. So people got interested in Melodi again, and obviously, 2000 big year for us.
So if it was a sloppy translation, I have to ask the question, what would be the literal translation of, because I know it's Denne Gang, wasn't it, in Danish? What is the literal English translation of that?
Well, the literal translation would just be this time. So basically, the song in Danish, it's about like this time it's for time. If we want to work this out, we gotta make it right this time. And that's what the whole song's about, like leaving someone, trying to get back with someone, but realizing, well, if we want this to work, both need to work hard for it. That was kind of translation when it came over to English.
Well, do you know what I have to say? It's one of my favorite songs, as you know, as well. It's certainly in my vote, shall we say, but no spoilers just yet. Now, 2 other songs were nominated, and we're going to go to Elena. Now, Alina, you nominated 2010 and 2016. Let's start with 2010. In a moment like this, why has this made it onto your nominations for Denmark's Best Ever?
Because at that year it was my favorite, and it's just such a good song. But also the staging is amazing, and you just feel the love in the song. And I was surprised. I looked back at it last week, and they kissed, and I was like, "What? I missed that!" And it made me. Oh, it was so cute, just so amazing, and it made me love the song even more. And oh, I just love it.
Now, did you watch the 2010 contest when it happened at the time?
Of course.
So, and this is the thing. So, I remember watching 2010, and Denmark got a lot of the 12 points at the start. Was there a point when you thought that Denmark was actually going to walk away with the crown in 2010?
Yeah. But also at that time, I was cheering for Belgium, of course, because some dies. But yeah, I remember a lot of happy moments for Denmark.
Oh, brilliant. Now, that song came fourth in the grand final. A song that didn't make it, sadly, to the grand final was Lighthouse X, Soldiers of Love. It's your second nomination. Came 17th in its semi-final. But Alina, why should people reverse the injustice of 2016 and vote for Soldiers of Love this evening?
Because it's such a good song. I mean, people, come on. It's just a happy dance song. I mean, when I hear it, I'm in my PJs with my coffee, dancing in front of the TV. It just makes me happy on that day. Oh, so amazing.
Now, I know you have a kindred spirit in this. So Morten is also a fan of this. Bear with me, cheesy link. Shine a light on why we should, get it, Lighthouse X, on why people should vote for Soldiers of Love.
It's just what Aline said. It's an amazing song, and I cannot wrap my head around how it didn't get to the final in 2016. It's just a brilliant song, and everything is just almost perfect as well. The vocals on the night were actually good. I didn't think that in 2016, but it actually was. They have good chemistry. The chorus is absolutely insane how good it is and catchy it is. So basically, it's a very, very good song. One of my favorite Danish entries, probably my favorite Danish entry as well, after a winner we'll talk about later. But it's absolutely
and also
brilliant.
The costumes are like amazing, like the best I've seen that year. And when I heard the audio recording of the song, one of the singers has like the Danish O, and it touches my heart every time. I'm like, yes. And when we see the performance, like one of the singers, I don't know who, but he is so in his vibe. It's just so amazing to see.
So guys, don't forget, voting is still open. Menti.com. You want the code 3482870, and you can vote for your top entries. Stuart's doing some weird sign language there. Stuart, I mean, what's going on? Have you got something you want to share to the group?
Yeah, I had a drink.
Just the one, I'm assuming.
Just the one.
I thought you were going to say
large
something shocking.
glass.
That's something we already expect.
Is it my... No comment. Lips are sealed. Right, I think it's my songs, isn't it?
Go on, we'll let you have a couple of nominations.
So if you thought they were good, you wait till you hear these
Ah, Stuart. So you've got 2 songs there. Let's start off with 1989. Why has this made it into your nominations for Best Ever Denmark?
Well, I wasn't born then, so I had to choose a song that. Of course, I'm joking.
I was going to say there was that Pinocchio nose that I did notice started to grow.
I'd been alive a couple of years, not long, but this is just a phenomenal song. I just think Bertha Kjær is an absolute queen. I absolutely adore her. She's phenomenal. The song is so cool, so quirky, so retro, even for 1989. I mean, what's not to love? I mean, even now I can't help but tap my feet, bounce around to it. The fact the choreography was so on point as well, and she grabbed her writers to be backing dancers, singers, and also grabbed the Danish. I've lost my words. She basically grabbed the guy from the stage, didn't she? She come on stage with her and dance around in the background. Conductor, that's the word I'm looking for. There you go. Lost my words for a minute. She grabbed the conductor. What a song. I mean, who doesn't love 1989? Came third. Should have won for me.
It's fantastically catchy. But, you know, I think the audience were just rocked by another entry. Let's move on. You also nominated 2012. Now, fascinating fact. I was speaking. I don't know anyone who tuned into our little preview where Elliot, another one of our panelists who's not here this evening, said that would have made it onto his nomination as well. I told him he should have known better. What's your excuse, Stuart?
This is a fantastic song, and it was totally robbed. It's the kind of song that when you listen to, as we all do, leading up to Eurovision, you thought this is a top 5 contender. And then, unfortunately, Saluna hits the stage and it just doesn't work. It's just one of those songs that just doesn't work on stage for whatever reason. But I listen to the song now and I just think that's a top song. Beautifully written. It wasn't justified to finish third last. And anyone who thinks this is a bad song had bad taste. It's a phenomenal song.
Well... And don't forget,
I'm sure
guys,
you all agree.
Of course we agree.
Martin loves it.
I was expecting Martin to say something, but he was on mute then. Go on, Martin.
Which one are we talking about? 89, love it. 2012, yeah, but good on the studio, but it wasn't, as you say, it wasn't there on the night. It didn't help that it was between Zalea and Aphrodisiac as well in the final. So you've got these 2 sort of fun, party, high-tempo songs around her. Who's going to remember her?
Yeah, and they didn't.
No. There you go. But no, it's a song that you'd have on the playlist and you'd listen to, definitely. But yeah, on the night
it didn't work. But 2 great songs. So they're my. Make sure you vote for them, and please do vote for them, because for me, 1989 should be a top 5 contender out of all this lot. And if it isn't, I should be coming for you, those in the chat room. Do send your comments through in the chat room, though. Tell me how right I am, because I am right on this one. Back to you, Tom.
Yeah, don't want to say anything, but yeah, Stu, I didn't vote for it. Nick,
bad taste.
Nicholas, I'm gonna come to you as our Danish representative this evening. Now, what are your earliest memories of Denmark in Eurovision?
Yeah, so I remember, like I said, the first time I watched it was back in 2001. My family had actually won tickets to watch the grand show in Parken, but of course I was a bit too young. What a missed opportunity, right? We didn't go. I think we just sold the tickets or something, whatever. But yeah, my earliest memory is not necessarily watching Dance Melodi Grand Prix 2001. I remember watching it on tape like all the time when I was little. That is probably my earliest memory. My earliest memory really of Eurovision is probably in 2002. It was a contest that I remember very fondly. And me and my girlfriend recently watched the contest back, and I just realized, like, watching the 2002 contest, like, I just kept going, oh, I remember that song. Oh, I remember that song. It's just so printed into my head. And I think it was very clear from the very beginning that I was just going to absolutely love the show. I've watched every single contest since 2002. I've been what I would call a massive fan since around 2005 when I watched the Congratulations show and really started to listen to some of the older songs. So it's just one of those things that's always been a part of my life. I don't remember a time before Eurovision and songs in weird languages being blasted on my little stereo.
Now, I do believe, I'm trying to do the maths here frantically, but I think you were about the same age as I was when the UK won for me, as you would have been the same age I was when Denmark won in 2013, if that makes sense. I was a teenager when the UK last won the contest in 97. You would have been a teenager in 2013.
Yes, I would.
When Denmark won. What was going through your head? Because like I remember just being really excited to see my country win. How did you find it in 2013?
It was exciting because obviously I didn't watch in 2000, so it was the first time seeing my country win. It's funny because like this was a time in my life where I was suddenly like losing a little bit more interest in Eurovision. I wasn't actually like watching it. I was still watching it, but I didn't really watch the semifinals or anything. So I was kind of falling off it for whatever reason. I don't even remember. Maybe it was just because I was a teenager and rebellious and didn't want to watch the same things that I did as a kid. I don't know, but it was a big moment for me because it was that, okay, we won. Eurovision is coming to Copenhagen. We all knew it was going to be Copenhagen. And it was such a big thing. I unfortunately didn't get to go myself. I was too young at the time and didn't want to go to Copenhagen all by myself. But it was just, Eurovision was just such a big thing in 2014. Everyone talked about it, that it really made me fall in love with Eurovision again. And I mean, seeing your country win is just something special. I remember Emily Forrest was the day after she won. She was in Tivoli, our like big amusement park, and she was performing the song. And there was just like hundreds of thousands of people there. Everyone was just cheering her on. And it was just a very special moment. It's kind of like, I would say for me, it was like, when your country wins some sort of like big sporting tournament. She got the same treatment. It was a very big deal, and it was so exciting to see, and you felt proud to be a Dane,
And final question, because I know we're about to move on to looking at our wildcards. Will Denmark win Eurovision within the next 5 years? Can you see a fourth victory around the corner for Denmark?
Oh, I would like to say yes, wouldn't I? Say yes, say anyway. It's difficult to say because Melodi Grand Prix at this point in time is extremely niche in Denmark. It is one of those things where every time DR posts something about the comment section on Facebook, is just full of people saying, "Oh, why do we need to watch this crap?" Right. So looking at how popular it is in Sweden and Norway, but in Denmark, Eurovision just isn't very popular at all at the moment. And that does mean that a lot of serious musicians, serious songwriters don't want to take part, which I think is a shame. I think we could win in the next 5 years, but it would have to take someone who would really care about it and someone who would really like put all their craft into it, because I don't think that is necessarily what is happening at the moment. I think the final we had this year was fantastic, and I hope that that kind of trend continues, because we saw a lot of great artists and great songs this year. So if the trend continues and actual Danish artists actually want to take part in Dance Melodi Grand Prix in the next couple of years, then yeah, maybe. I definitely have a few love to see take the stage someday, but I'm sure we'll talk about that some other time.
Yeah. Okay, right. Let's move on. Thanks very much for that, Nicholas. Now, over on Facebook, you voted for your wildcard nominations. There was a choice to get a track in, I think, basically pre-1990s and post-1990s. Only 2 songs could make it through. Let's take a listen.
Krøller, eller ej, vi elsker vores børn. I'm your darling queen tonight. All my troubles are out of sight. When the lights are gone, I will be your shining star. I'm your darling queen tonight.
So there you have it, 1981. I thought it was going to be one of the later ones, actually, but it was 1981. And of course. Who could forget the iconic DQ with his absolute banger from 2007? So, I think we're going to go and speak to Joe. Shall we talk to Joe? Let's do Joe. Not literally. But hi, Joe.
Hello. Oh, how are you?
Tell us about these two. Why do you like these two? 1981 and 2007. Drama Queen.
Yeah, 1981 for me is the best one out of both of those. Yeah, I remember it really well. You know, we all love it. Everyone in the UK loved 1981. Let's face it, who was there. We won again. It was great. But yeah, I do remember Krøller, eller, very well, and the lovely Tommy. He's another legend, isn't he? Really, let's just face it. He's just a legend of another Danish legend. But it was just different. It was different. It was a duet. It was a typical sort of 80s bop, as they became with the Danish 80s bop. But it started the whole thing off, didn't it? So DQ for me, you know, it's something to dance to on the dance floor. But again, it's what they call a banger, isn't it? Really, but not my thing in comparison to 81.
Thank you, Joe. Two great tracks. And just remind them, these are the two songs you guys chose. We all chose our entries. You chose these two. So if you love these two songs, make sure you vote for them. Go to menti.com, 34 82 87 0. Nicholas, you love these two too, don't you?
Of course. Who couldn't? I mean, I have to be nice about the 2007 song because someone else in this household very much loves that song. It was a weird one, right? Because in fact, it was out of 2 years where Denmark actually had semifinals. We don't usually do that. We had that in 2007, 2008. The song didn't actually directly qualify to the final, but it was the pick of the P3 radio station here in Denmark. They could pick like a wild card for the final, and they chose that song. It's probably the riskiest song we've sent, up there with Curly, but it's fun, isn't it? It was at that time in Eurovision where Eurovision was just getting a little bit weird, and I think this song fit perfectly in there. And I'm surprised, you know, we haven't sent anything wild in recent years. I kind of miss when Dance Music Grand Prix used to have these more like wilder entries. And Krøller, eller, what can I say? It's a fantastic song. It's one of the classics. One of the songs that pretty much every Danish person can sing along to. It's such a fantastic song. I love Tommy Sebak. He's a big inspiration of mine. I think he's such a legend in Dance Music Grand Prix. All the songs he sent has been absolutely fantastic. May he rest in peace. He was such a great guy. He had such fantastic songs. While I would have probably sent Disco Tango through, as that is definitely one of my favorites and one of the like big Dance Music Grand Prix songs, one of those people remember. It's nice to see Krøller, eller in here because it's a very sweet song about it doesn't matter the color of your skin, if you have curls or not. We love everyone. I think it has a great message.
Thank you, Nicholas. Two great entries. So if you're there wondering why, after all these songs, you've not heard the three Danish Eurovision winners, we haven't ignored them because they're coming up now. Let's take a listen.
In the sky.
Three fantastic winners there. Now, Morten, if you had to pick just one
Only
of
Teardrops.
those winning songs, why?
It's the best Danish song ever, and it probably will be as well. It's just the first time you listen to it, you're like, okay, this is going to win. and it did, of course. No competition at all. It's just one of the best Eurovision songs of all time as well. Whenever you listen to it, whether you're sad, whether you're happy, whatever your emotion is, you're like, okay, this gets me in a good mood. And it's just, when you are a Eurovision fan, you like this song. I don't know anybody who doesn't like it, and it's just incredible. I can't. I get a little bit emotional when I'm talking about it, not like crying or something. It's just so good.
I am feeling the love indeed for that one. Now, I'm going to move across to Aileen. Now, Aileen, if you could pick one of those three, what one would you go for?
Just one? That's impossible. I mean, these three winners are just amazing, and everyone loves them, so that's why they obviously won, and they are still very popular among the community and even outside the community of Eurovision.
But if you had to pick one, so let's take our Twitter poll, for example, where we made you pick.
Well, I would also pick only Teardrops, but that's already been chosen, so I will go for Dansevise. It's the oldest song, the oldest winner for Denmark, and I think it was kind of a game changer for Eurovision. A new language one, kind of a more up-tempo song one, and I just think it was like one of the first keys to open more doors into the Eurovision world. And I'm glad it's loved by the younger generation. It just means that wouldn't say it's timeless, because it wouldn't win this in 2020. It's too old now. But I'm impressed that it's loved by so many younger people as well. Lovely song. I can't imagine anyone who dislikes the song, to
Absolutely
be honest.
right. It's one of my favourites too. Now, I'm going to move across to Joe. Joe, Olsen Brothers, 2000, the first Eurovision victory of the 21st century, went to Denmark. What were your feelings when you saw the Olsen Brothers take the crown in 2000?
Yeah, shocked to a point, because I didn't think they were favourites, if I remember right. But it was such a feel-good song, and I think at the time, when we look back at some of the winners in the sort of the late 90s and everything, it was that era for a good feel good song, and that, or a dance melody, something different, and that came across as different. Two brothers sing the song, a little bit going back to the early 90s as well. When you got the Island and 94 Rock and Roll Kids, there's a bit of vibe with that going on. So it's sort of continued, just into the 2000s, and started a new era, really, because we hadn't had a Danish win, obviously, for that many years beforehand. Trying to work out my maths, how many years it was. But then, of course, we had, going into 2001, we sort of had the Baltics and the ex-Russian country, USSR countries coming in and winning as well. So it sort of started that vibe, and it's iconic. And they are great, aren't they, the Olsen Brothers? They're iconic.
It is. I always remember sitting there watching the 2000 contest, and Terry Wogan said, "Never underestimate two old blokes with guitars," when they came on stage.
That, yeah.
And do you know what? He was absolutely right. Now, obviously, we haven't been able, sadly, to fit every single Danish entry into our best ever song list. So let's take a look. It's like a game show. Let's see what you could have won. Let's take a look at the best of the rest.
Here we are on ESC Fan TV with a look at the best of the rest, the songs that didn't make it to our Best of Denmark show. Now, Denmark first won the contest in 1963, and their entry the following year is the only Danish home entry that didn't make it to our shortlist. Hot Eyes came fourth in 1984 and fancied their chances the following year when they returned with another bouncy schlager and with something special up their sleeve. Yes, it's a cute little boy, or possibly girl. For some reason the juries weren't impressed. They dropped 7 places to finish 11th. Undeterred, they returned for a final time in 1988 with what seems to be the exact same song, but they ditched the kid and came 3rd. Maybe they should have ditched the bloke as well and gone for the win. And from the ridiculous to the sublime, and one of the biggest injustices in Eurovision history, as Denmark failed to qualify for the first ever semi-final back in 1996 with this stunning ballad. Now, you won't find a video recording of this show. The songs were copied on cassette tape only and posted out to the juries around Europe for their votes. And Denmark were unlucky in the first televised semi-final as well, back in 2004, when they were one of the favourites to win the whole thing. I can't think what went wrong. Oh, shame on you, Thomas. I think you must have been partying too hard that week. And that's it. My name's Andy Brooke, and this has been the best of the rest from Denmark.
And big thanks to Andy for putting that together for us. Now, we are just minutes away from revealing our best ever Denmark entry. You have until we get the last 12 points from the last panellist this evening to vote. And we're only asking those panellists to give their 12 points. So we're going to go straight over. We're going to start right back at the very beginning. We're going to go to Martin. Martin, best ever Danish entry, and your 12 points goes to...
Yeah, for me, it was an obvious one. I knew this was going to win right from the beginning. It's the reason why I've got involved with blogging and then the radio show. It's 2013, Only Teardrops, Emily de Forest.
Hey, she takes an early lead. Moving on to Jude. 12 points.
Am I allowed to vote with both my head and my heart?
Oh, it's only one set of 12 points up for grabs.
If I have to vote with my head, I'm going to say 2001.
Hey, thank you very much, Jude. Let's go to Joe.
Hi, my 12 points, of course, go to 92 of the Stemmen there.
Hey, and calling Norway, Morten.
As no surprise, I will go for 2013.
That's 2 sets of 12s now for Only Teardrops. Let's go to Aline.
I rarely pick a recent entry to be my best of a certain country, but my 12 points go to Rasmussen and Higher Grounds.
Thank you very much, Aline. Let's go now to Elena.
My 12 points go to my all-time favorite Eurovision song, and that's on Wings of Love.
Hey, thank you very much, Alina. Let's now head across to Denmark. Let's go to Nicholas. Can we have your 12 points, please?
Definitely can. As much as I love the songs that I chose, I have to give my 12 points to the kings of Dansk Melodi Grand Prix. My 12 points go to Olsen Brothers, Fly on the...
Thank you very much there, Nicholas. Stuart, where did your 12 points go to?
So I think Nicholas is absolutely right. There's a couple of great songs. 1995 is my heart choice, but the song that's by far the best ever Danish song is 2000 with Fly on the Wings of Love, Tom.
Oh, I can see a split on 12 points. Well, guys, you have the time it takes me to tell. I don't think I am. I'm just checking. I've not missed anyone else's 12 points out, have I? I'm going to take that as a no. So you have the time it takes me to tell you where my 12 points went, and my 12 points went. Characteristically, I never like to fit in with the crowd. It went to Trine Jespen and Michael Teschel. This time I mean it. 1999. Got to do it.
That was almost a correct pronunciation.
Almost. It's the best I hope for. So, guys, voting is now closed. Stuart, over to you.
Right, let's find out who has won the best ever Eurovision Denmark entry. Let's have the scoreboard up, shall we? There we go. So, first of all, let's just take down the comments so we can see who has won. So there we go. So I think it was pretty split, wasn't it, between 2013 and 2000, Fly on the Wings of Love. So are we ready to find out who has won? I think we should have a drum roll. Should we have a drum roll? Drum roll, please. And the winner of the best ever Denmark is 2000, Fly on the Wings of Love, 334 points. And second place, Emily de Forest with 306. And very respectively, 1963's Dansevise, 1995's Fra Mols to Skagen, and 1989's Vi Malen Bjerrud make up the top 5. I have no idea whether I came even remotely close to pronouncing any of those correctly. I'm going to assume yes, because Nicholas hasn't looked at me with daggers just yet. So there we go. You have decided that the winner of the best ever Denmark is the Olsen brothers with Fly on the Wings of Love.
Fly on the wings of love. Fly, baby, fly. Reaching the stars above. Touching the sky.
There we go. There we go. Fantastic. Over to you, Tom.
Well, it's been another fantastic show. Now, don't forget, guys, if you want to listen again to us, but you're thinking, hang on, I want to listen to you whilst I'm like walking to work or doing something like that, check us out. Apple Podcast, Spotify, we're on there. You can listen to this again live. And also, don't forget, you can watch our other live shows. We're available on YouTube as well, where you've got Best Ever Belgium, Best Ever Netherlands, Best Ever Greece, Best Ever Last Place, and lots of other content on there as well. Don't forget also, check out our interview with Ben and Tan that we did ahead of what became the contest that never was in 2020 as well. Now, you may be thinking to yourselves, where does Best Ever go next? We are back 2 weeks' time, 5th of September, for a very, very, very special Best Ever. And you're probably all screaming at it. What is it? What is it? What is it? Find out. Look at our Facebook page, 9 o'clock, Monday night, CET. We'll be on there and we will let you know. Trust me, it's going to be a very, very special show. Over to you, Stu.
It will. Make sure you do check us out. I think all that's left to be said is thank you to everyone in the chat room. The comments have been epic this evening. Give us a like. Give us a dislike if you hated the show. Tell us why. Write nice and nasty things about us. We want to hear everything about tonight's show, how you felt about it. All that's left to say is a big thank you to our panelists. Who the hell's that? Thank God he's gone. And we're going to say a massive thank you to the panelists. If we can have them on screen, that'll be marvellous. Big thank you to Aline from Belgium.
It was great to be here, and I hope to be back in 2 weeks.
You never know. We may see you in 2 weeks. And lovely flag. And I'd like to say... and who else have we got? I'll just go back to there. There we go. And we're going to say a massive thank you to Jude.
I'm here as long as you'll have me.
Always. We'll have you all the time, Jude. It'll be an absolute pleasure. Thank you to Elena.
Thanks for having me. And I'm just saying, it's the second time my 12 points is winning. So maybe I'm onto something. Who knows?
I think you could be onto something for sure. Thank you to Joe. Joe, great to see you again.
Oh, you too, guys. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Bye.
And we have somebody else on screen now. Sack the technical guy. That's the next thing. Thank you to Martin. Make sure you go and listen to Martin. There he is. He's put himself on screen again. Thank you, Martin. Go and check out his Let Me Be the One blog and podcast.
Thank you very much. Good show as always. Brilliant.
Thank you to Morten.
Thank you for having me back on. It was marvelous to be here, and I can't wait for many more shows to come.
It's going to be a fun season to come in. And thank you to, well, I mean, he's part of the furniture. He might be our Danish correspondent this evening, but he's also one of our beloved hosts, and you'll see him more on Junior Eurovision. Thank you, Nicholas.
Yes, thank you. And just while we're at it, could you just let our drink in the control room? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And finally, thank you, Tom. It's been a wonderful show.
Do you know what? It's been absolutely fantastic. A really well-deserved winner. And do you know what? I can't wait to share with everyone our special best ever. Find out Monday, 9 o'clock on Facebook.
Exactly.
You're going to love it.
All that's left to be said is thank you for tuning in. I hope you have enjoyed it. It's been a flipping marathon this evening, an hour and a half, but I hope you've enjoyed all the hard work and effort. You can see from screen everyone's absolutely shattered now. We're going to go and have a nice drink and chill out. We will see you back here in 2 weeks. Make sure you interact with us, like, subscribe, ding a dong our bell. Very important that. We love you to ding a dong our bell. And we will see you in 2 weeks with another best of. Bye-bye for now.